Finding the strength deep inside. Shane and Melissa takes us on this ride from suffering to a life so free. Her healing touch she'll set you free with a heart so pure and full of love. She's the nurse that fits you like a glove. Holistic healing, her expertise. She'll bring you back to a state of peace. She'll bring you back to a state of peace. I've been waiting all my life for someone like you, like you. I would watch the days go by, wasted and blue. I was out of use. Now every day, every night, every moment with you, I'm walking on air. And every day, every way, I feel I can't lose the strength deep inside. Shane and Melissa takes us on this ride from suffering to a life so free. Her healing touch she'll set you free.
Hey guys, welcome. Are you guys terrified of getting your identity stolen and it's happened to your friends? Or you've had your ID stolen and you don't know what to do next? Or perhaps you just like to start an LLC, or you'd like an attorney on standby without an expensive retainer. I am Shana Melissa Stockman. We have a very special guest today, but for those of you that don't know me, like I said, I'm Shana Melissa Stockman, the autoimmune expert. I empower mostly ladies who are suffering with symptoms from waking up exhausted, pain, hair thinning, waking to get and feel better even when their doctors and medicines didn't. Especially my fellow autoimmune warriors, medical mysteries, people that had problems since the vaccine and virus. I offer online and in-person classes, courses, workshops, book signings, and private consultations. Now I'd like to introduce you a very special guest, Wendy Byford. She is a legal liaison and a real super connector. Wendy Byford is a corporate America escapee who built a seven-figure business with over 20,000 clients. In fact, her 30,000 filings that she's done were for 20,000 clients. As a seasoned entrepreneur and a legal service advocate, she's passionate about making top rated legal support accessible for individuals, families, and small businesses. Wendy has a proven track record of forming LLCs, educating, and entity management. She is also the first Entrepreneur of the Year award recipient by One Coach by John Azarath of The Secret and Maury Smith. Wendy focuses on empowering individuals and businesses by providing affordable, reliable, legal, and identity protection services. Through her ventures, she helps solopreneurs and small business owners access expert legal guidance at a fraction of the traditional cost. So, welcome, Wendy. Wendy, thank you for being here and taking time.
It's a delight, Shana. I'm so excited to be here and to be talking to your audience.
Thank you. And I see eyeballs on us. So if you guys are watching now live, please drop down below, say hi, where you're tuning in from. If you have a question or a comment, we have the capabilities to stream it live and to answer your question while we're live streaming. So drop a question down if you have it for Wendy. If we can answer it within the time allotment, we will. So Wendy, I thank you for being here because I know personally identity stealing is a very serious, terrifying thing. And it had happened to myself where somebody claimed my tax return and had the money sent to them. And it was a legal thing for like 2-3 years to try to get that money back. And I know it's a very scary situation. And a lot of us have been hacked or accounts cloned or passwords leaked and our private information. So thank you. Would you please share with us some pro tips on what we can do to try to prevent identity theft? Maybe we can start there.
Okay. Well, preventing identity theft is one of those topics that really is there to make people feel good, but let's be honest, your
Yes.
information is already out there. Since 2015, there have been about 8.4 billion records compromised. And like there's what, 330, 350 million people in the US. So just do the math. Um, It
Wow.
also costs the American people in 2023, I think about $43 billion. So it's a huge industry and it's not going away. People in America are targeted because they think, hey, we're rich, right? The streets are paved with gold. Everybody here lives in their own home. So, yeah, we're targeted. Your information is already out there. And it really becomes a
Mhm.
matter of finding out when your information is being misused as quickly as possible and having the resources to get the situation cleaned up as quickly as possible. So
Yes.
I wish I
That
could say, yeah, we can prevent it. Yeah, no,
That's a
we
very
can't.
valid point because I'm thinking in my head, hey, I don't post my year of my birthday online. I don't mention what elementary school I went to because we know that's a security question. I don't answer what my favorite car is. I know about people that do phishing, and if an email looks fishy, I don't click on it. I go directly to the
Mhm.
website itself, especially if it has your bank in it. If it says like, I don't know, Chase or Bank America, that I in the email I don't click that link. I actually go to the bank's website and make sure it's legit. So I'm doing my part, but I didn't realize how easily it accessible it is to everyone. And I think it's like if you lock your door, you're a little better off for a robber,
Mhm.
but there's still windows in other ways. So wow, that was eye opening.
Absolutely. Employment identity theft is the most prevalent form of identity theft. So it's not even, credit cards, bank accounts, those sorts of things. Only 17% of identity theft is going to show up on your financials. Employment identity
Wow.
theft is rampant because think about it. Let's say that you are a person that if you went in for an interview, they would never hire you because maybe you've got a criminal record, right? You've done
Thanks.
something that they'll do a background check and they'll go, oh, well, we don't want this guy around, right? So they steal somebody's identity and present themselves as that person. Well, they
Yes.
do the work. They have their taxes taken off at source, just like everybody else. And it goes against your social security number. They file taxes under your social security number. They get your refund. But worse,
Wow.
it could be that the IRS looks at this and says, what Shayna is saying she earned and what we're showing as being earned doesn't match. Maybe we should do an audit, right?
Wow.
So all of a
I
sudden
pay
you've got
way
to
too
go,
much, so I'm okay with an audit. If it was my
but lots of
expenses, yeah.
yeah, I mean, it takes time, it takes effort. If you're a
Wow.
business, maybe they're going to go through your business as well, right? Especially if you're a solopreneur and everything is flowing down onto your personal tax return. It's not going to affect just you, it's going to affect your business as well. And it's nothing that you did wrong. Somebody stole your
Mm,
identity. I mean, think
yes.
about this. A friend of mine was traveling from where I live in Las Vegas to Phoenix for a business meeting. Okay. She's a single mom. She's out in the middle of nowhere. I don't know if any of you know this road. If you do, then you'll understand what I'm saying. Not even jackrabbits live along this road. There's nothing.
Oh God.
It is desert. She's in the middle of nowhere. She gets pulled over by a police officer. And she's thinking, well, maybe I'm going a little fast, whatever. Anyway, he comes to her window and she gets out her registration and her driver's license and she cracks the window about an inch and she passes it through. And he takes her information. He comes back and he says, "Step out of the car, please." Now, when they say that you're going to get arrested. I mean, this
It's
is
not good.
this is where they ask you to turn around, they put the cuffs on and they take you away. And she's like, "I'm a
Wow.
single mom in the middle of nowhere and I'm terrified." Right? Now, fortunately, she had the legal services that we offer to our clients where she pushed an emergency button and she got an attorney on the line immediately. And the attorney said, "I want to speak to this gentleman." So she passed the phone out the window. He took it back to his car. And a few minutes later, he came back, gave her everything, got back in his car, and drove away. And so she said to the attorney, "What's going on?" And the attorney said, "It's identity theft. He brought up your information. There were all these wants and warrants against the information. He was going to arrest you, even though he could see the picture was not you. It was your information. He was going to arrest you anyway, impound your car, and then you've got to go through the rigmarole of having somebody come and bail you out and get your car out of the impound and all the rest of the stuff." Right?
Yes.
So
Wow.
fortunately, she had the resources to be able to not have that happen. And when she got to Phoenix, she just called up our identity theft service and said, "My identity's been stolen." They took care of everything. But little things like that are so prevalent. I can't tell you how many times people say the police have wanted to arrest
Mm.
me for outstanding tickets for a state I've never visited. Think
Wow,
about that.
it's definitely eye opener.
It's
I
crazy.
remember decades ago, my brother's friend actually, when he got pulled over, he gave my brother's phone number, name, and date of birth. So then my brother got pulled over one time, and he actually found out he had a record from his friend that impersonated him when he was pulled over. But now we're taking it to whole new levels. Wow, this is crazy. And then I guess also if they have loans and they buy things with your name, then that's
Mhm.
ruining your credit score as well, taking it to a whole new level.
Well,
Um,
it not only affects your credit score, but think about this. Think about they buy the stuff and then they never pay the bill. And now you're getting hounded by
mhm.
creditors for something that you didn't even buy,
Wow.
right? You can be
Wow.
harassed. You can have red flags on your records. You can have all kinds of things happen for things that you
Mhm.
didn't even know were going on until the incident actually occurred, until you're notified by the IRS that there's an issue, or your driver's license is revoked, or your passport is denied, or something else happens, right? You
Mm.
just don't know. So
I
it's
thought,
it is
yeah, crazy. I thought
yeah,
I was
people
safe
are
because
very
I used to use a lot of us used to use one password for everything so we would remember it. Now all my passwords are different and they all have letters, numbers, upper, lowercase, symbols, and I change them all the time. But that's still not enough at all if they're just going to hack a computer. Um,
it's not enough because your information is out there. In fact, there are websites where your information is being bought and sold continuously, and you don't
yes.
even know where those websites are, right? And you have to check those websites every 90 days because they get refreshed. I mean, it's really an issue. So
Oh, hi. Was
I
it
was
waving to Elizabeth? Great to see you both tonight. Thank you,
yeah,
Elizabeth. Guys, drop us where you're. Oh, that's crazy scary. Yeah, drop us where you're tuning in from. And I've seen a lot of friends' accounts get cloned, like on Facebook and Instagram. So what I like to do is
yep.
periodically I search my own name to see if there's a clone for me, and I've actually discovered my own clones and then had their accounts shut down. So it's important, ladies and gentlemen out there. Please, if you're on social medias, type in your name and see what pops up. And if there's somebody out there, you can get their account shut down for impersonation. And that's just a start, because I didn't know if this clone
So
was going to start selling things under my name.
you just don't know. I mean, you can have your merchant services accounts shut down if you're in business. You can have all kinds of things happen. You obviously making sure that you've got a program that manages your passwords is important, right? So that you can have all these
Mm,
crazy passwords and you don't have to remember them. Having two-step authentication is important, right?
yes.
Um, Making sure that you change your passwords regularly is important. Making sure that you don't click on links that are suspicious. Always go to the website. I called American Express the other day because
Yes.
they were asking for information. They called me 3 times, or they emailed me 3 times, and it just didn't look right. So I called American Express and said, "Is this you?" And she actually
Yes.
went through me every step of the email and said, "Does it say this? Does it say this? Does it say this?" "Yes, it's us." And I said, "Okay, I'll answer it." Right? But you've got to be really careful with your emails. Let me give you a tip that nobody thinks about. Okay.
Okay.
If you are in an area where there are heavy rains, flooding, tornadoes, hurricanes, anything like that, right, where you may have to be evacuated, right? Do you know that thieves go to these areas because what will end up happening is everybody's personal information that should have been locked away in a safe or in a safety deposit box is floating down the streets, because nobody
Wow.
thought that anybody would ever have access to their stuff, right? But things are, their file cabinets or whatever are floating down the street, and the drawers are broken open, and all of this stuff is out there, and the thieves are out there having a field day because all of your
Wow.
information is out there. So please make sure that you have a safe. I have a huge safe in my office the size of a refrigerator, or you've got a safety deposit box or some other way of making
Mhm.
sure that your personal documents are not at risk, because you don't know when there's going to be a flood or a tornado. These things go through, and people say that this only happens once every 100 years. Well, it happened to be
That's
your
all you
turn.
need.
Right?
Yes, and I think it's
So
important to have a box at home that's fire resistant, flood resistant, water resistant too. That's really
absolutely.
great
When you
advice.
make sure that when you get calls and people are saying, well, in order to do that, I need to get this information. If it's personal information, then
No.
don't give it to them. What will probably happen
Oh.
is they'll try to bully you, and that's a clear
Hmm.
sign that something is wrong. I had a friend
Yes.
who thought that the company she was dealing with was helping her with her computer, and they had her go online. They entered her bank accounts,
Oh
they
no.
maxed out
No,
her
no, no.
credit cards. Basically, they left her with nothing. So
That's a
just
very
be
good point.
extremely.
Yes, recently I needed remote assistance on my computer, and they like to access your computer. They're like, "Hey, we're going to send you a text to access your computer." I'm like, "No, no, no, no." So if I'm asking for remote assistance for, say, my Apple or my laptop, often they will ask you for access to your laptop, and I say, "No, you can walk me through the steps because I don't know these people. I don't know what country they're in. I really don't know. So please, guys, don't allow them remote access to your computer if you really don't need to." I think that's a huge mistake, and too often we're doing this.
It's amazing when we think that we know who it is that we're talking to, what these people can
Yes.
find out. And a lot of times they'll pretend to be the IRS or some other government agency,
Yes.
right? The IRS will
And
never
they'll
call
text
you.
you, right? Yeah, they won't
Yeah,
text you either.
they don't text you, they don't call you. So don't think that if somebody is trying to bully you and saying I'm from the IRS, that's baloney. They don't do that. So just be aware and make sure that you put cybersecurity onto your computers and your phone. You know, my phone,
Mm,
which is now in my drawer, I have a VPN right on my phone. So if I'm sitting in
yes, me too.
Starbucks and I need to look at my bank account, I just don't go to the app, right? Because anybody
Yes.
within like a 300-foot radius can figure out what I'm doing. So I go into my VPN and then I go to my bank account so that nobody can look over my shoulder. With my husband
Yes.
and I went to Jamaica last year, and I needed to
Yes.
work, right? If you go onto the hotel internet, everybody in the world is
Mhm.
looking over your shoulder. But I had
Yes.
cybersecurity on my laptop. So I would open the VPN and then I would go in and do my work so nobody could see what I was doing. So please get that kind of security on your phone and on your
Yes.
laptop. And
And
if you don't know how to do that, then call me. Let me know.
yeah, and
There is an
also,
easy way to
I
do
didn't
that.
I didn't realize this till recently. Other people can be near your phone and get your information. There's a certain setting on your phone, especially on the iPhones, that you have to shut off. It's called sharing, so remote sharing. So if you have that setting on, they could just be in your vicinity and tap into your information. So I always, always, always have remote sharing on. And another thing I learned, a lot of these calls, when you call a lot of companies, they're on recorded lines, and then they need to take, say, your credit card information for the payment. So I make them stop the recording before I give my personal information, because those recordings might be for training purposes and other people in other countries,
Mhm.
and you don't know where they're going. So guys, if you're on a phone call, even a help support, and they need your personal information, maybe your date of birth for your insurance or whatever it may be, ask them to please stop the recording or not record it. That is huge. Huge.
It it is. So there are some basic things that you can do, some software that you can use, some best practices, but just be aware that there is no way to completely stop it. And here's something to think about for those of you who have children. The number one target for identity theft is children. It's not adults, it's children, because nobody is watching their identity. So a friend of mine said, I can't believe it. He said, my niece went to apply for her first job. She's 16 years old. She was going to get a job. Her dad went with her, and they found in the background check that she was a 23-year-old bartender in a different city.
Wow. That's
Yeah, think about that.
crazy.
And often identities are stolen by somebody close to you. A friend of ours, his
Yes.
son-in-law, came to him and said, the IRS is hounding me for taxes that I don't owe. I'm a W-2 employee. They take off at source. There's no reason why I would owe taxes, but they're hounding me saying that I had a business. He
Yes.
he worked with his son-in-law for 6 months to find out what happened. Now, this is 6 months when this kid is not paying attention to his brand new bride. He's not paying attention to
Hmm.
his job. He's not eating properly. He's not sleeping well. He's terrified because the IRS keeps hounding him for this money, not by phone, right? But is
Yes, not
hounding
by
him and
phone. They
saying they're going to put a lien.
don't text.
They're going to, they're going to garnish his wages. They're going to put, a lien on his house, all this stuff. And he is terrified, right? They
Mm.
finally found out that what had happened is this fellow's stepfather had started an online business and in the name of the son and left the son to pay the taxes. So then they had to go
Crazy.
back to the IRS and convince the IRS that this kid was not the bad guy, that they needed to go after
Mm.
the stepfather. So think about that. This is if you've got a business, this is 6 months of your life when you are not paying attention to
Yes.
that business.
Yes, it could destroy a business. And I know personally, I always keep attorneys usually on retainer because there's always contracts and things to look over. And I don't just sign anything, I always run it past someone. So it's important, especially if you're in a business deal and the other person did up the contract, that's going to be in their benefit. So please, guys, always, always, always run it by your own attorney. Attorneys can cost thousands of dollars to have them on retainer, which is standby in case you need something. And I know Wendy has another option for you where instead of like a $10,000 retainer to have a lawyer at your beck and call, Wendy has a program where you can make a small monthly payment to have access to attorneys when you might really need them. Correct?
Yeah. And it's amazing, how these guys help. Um, People that I know have had situations where the big company, I won't give you their name, but big company, um, rearranged their cell towers, and all of a sudden, this person who depended upon his cell phone for business no longer got cell service in his house. So he went back to the company and said, "I need to terminate the contract because you're not providing service. I need to go to somebody who can," and they refused to terminate the contract. So he
Mm.
he can't get cell service, he can't do his business, and they won't terminate the contract. So he went to the attorneys that we provide, and they called the law firm, not the guys he'd been talking to, but they called the law firm for that company and got the
Correct.
contract terminated. And in fact, he got a couple of months refund on his bill because they hadn't been able to provide the service. So these are just little things. We got into a society where we shrug our shoulders and we think there's no justice in the world, right? Well, there is. You just need to know how to get it. And these attorneys are very good at getting justice
Yeah.
for you.
And I think it's true. I think it's very important to have them on standby because you never know when things come up. You get pulled over by like that policeman and you don't have any warrants, but suddenly you do because somebody stole your identity. So I think it's very important that we should all have a plan that we pay a little bit monthly to have the access to an attorney when we need at our call. That's excellent program to have.
It is really important. And also for identity theft, to have somebody that you can call to say, my identity's been stolen, and have them spring into action to get your identity back to its
Yes,
pre-theft status and provide you with a way of getting reimbursed for out-of-pocket expenses for
yes.
the money that was taken.
And
So,
what I like
yeah,
about your program is that it's not like if I have a retainer with one attorney, he might be my patent and copyright attorney, one of many that I have, but he might not know what to do in that situation if I was pulled over and somebody stole my identity. Where they work with you and your company, that they have access to different attorneys that subspecialize in different things, and they connect them with the attorney for that appropriate problem they have.
correct. So you don't have an attorney,
Nice.
you have a law firm, and the law firm is in your state. There is a network of law firms across
Yes.
the US and into Canada, so that if you've got a contract that is drawn up in a state different from where you live, they're going to put you in touch with the law firm in that state because that's where
Yes.
the issue needs to be settled, not in your state. And so you need to know what the laws are for that state. I've done this.
Very
Talked to my
important.
law firm here. They put me in touch with attorneys in a different state for a contract that I had to sign. And those guys said, okay, this is what will happen if this goes south. So that I knew what the
Nice.
laws were there, not where I was. And that's really important. We sometimes forget about that. We think that the attorneys that we have in our state are all powerful and all knowing. Well, no,
No,
laws are
they're
different
not.
in different states.
Yes, they definitely are. And Wendy, I know we're coming close to the end, but I wanted to ask you a fun fact just to lighten the mood for a minute. Can you tell us something about you that might be fun that most of us don't know that you'd like to share?
That I'd like to share. Okay, so fun facts. Oh my goodness. There's there's actually several. How about when I was visiting the Forbidden City, a friend of mine wanted to have his picture taken, except he wanted to sit on one of those big Chinese lions, and he wanted to have the picture taken before the guard found him. And so we had like 30 seconds before the guard was going to come and arrest us for uh, for uh, for playing around with the lions in the Forbidden City. So yeah,
What,
I could have been taken to jail in China, but fortunately, I managed to get the picture before he got us, and we ran
what's the Forbidden City? Is that Vegas? Where's the Forbidden City? I don't know.
in China.
Oh, okay. That
The
was my second
Forbidden
guess.
City
I
in
did not know
China.
this. I just learned
Yeah.
something. Okay, excellent. And I would say on that note, a fun fact that I just thought of right now. I remember when I was in Red Rocks Amphitheater and around Garden of the Gods and horseback riding in Colorado. And there's the big sign that says, "Don't climb the rocks." Okay. I'm sorry. I had to climb the rocks. I'm sorry. I have a nice picture with the "Don't climb the rocks." And then there I am climbing. It's like that little kid you tell them not to do something. But, and then also, can you just touch on a point? Say someone wants to form an LLC, because a lot of us do now. We want to use it to protect us so that we don't get
Mhm.
sued for our house or maybe for more tax purposes. What tip would you give to someone starting an LLC? I guess contact you, of course.
Right. Um, because after you get the piece of paper, the next question is now what? People think, well, I'll just form the LLC and forget about it. But there are things that you need to do to show the IRS if you're audited, or the courts if you are ever in a lawsuit, that you are running a professional business as a professional
Yes,
manager of that business. And so what we do with our clients is, after we form the LLC and we get their tax ID and we give them their corporate record book with their operating agreement and everything else, we teach them how to run that company, because that's really the most
nice.
important thing. You're getting the LLC
Yes,
for protection, and you don't want to damage that protection by doing things that you didn't know that you shouldn't be doing. So we want to teach
yes.
people how to look after the company so that there's never a question about whether or not those protections should stay in place.
That's a very nice added touch, because when I started mine, I didn't have that. And I know we're running up. Oh, I'm going to talk about real quick the Reclaim Your Life Super Workshop coming up, guys. This is something you're not going to want to miss. Next month is Heart Awareness Month, and heart disease is the number one killer in the USA right now, and has been for a really long time. So it's time for you to reclaim your life. There's a lot of entrepreneurs on here, and a lot of times we put ourselves last, and we don't listen to those warning signs like you see here. Those warning signs and symptoms are warning you. If you do not take care of yourself, something more serious is going to happen. Like, there's warning signs in your car. Your oil light comes on because it's warning you. If you don't fix the oil light, that problem, you're going to need a whole engine overhaul. So these symptoms are warning signs that are telling you, hello, take care of me, reclaim your life now before it's a much more serious problem. Some of the warning signs that you may be experiencing: waking up tired, you're achy, your irritable bowel, inability to lose weight, even inability to gain weight, weird rashes, hair thinning. Those are just some of the symptoms, some of the warning signs that, hello, it's time to address these issues before they come serious and irreversible. It's time for you to reclaim your life. You are worthy, you are deserving. I'm offering this live Reclaim Your Life Power Hour from the comfort of your couch, live online for 1 hour, February 26th at 7 p.m. And I'm offering it for you, the viewers, absolutely free, 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 free. There is no credit card we ask you for, anything. It includes a digital and printable there it is. There's the website. It includes a digital and printable workbook. And if you're like, I can't make February 26th, no problem. Level up to VIP. You'll get replay access. You'll also get an extra power hour live Zoom Q&A, and you'll also get a discovery mini consultation with myself at all. Hey, Ray. Ray says, hi, I love Wendy. She is a wealth of information and really caring. Oh, thank you, Ray. Thank you, Liz. And also, so go to worldwellnessexpert.com/reclaim. The only thing you have to decide is if you're going to reclaim your life for free or do the VIP for $47, get replay access, a mini consultation, an extra live Q&A session with myself. There's Ray right there. I love Wendy. She's a wealth of info and real caring. Hey, and if you'd like to reach Wendy, Wendy, any final words and how can they best get a hold of you that, they can take advantage of your offers? Oh, look right there, calendly.com/Wendy
Right.
Byford / Yes. Any
Shane.
final words you would like to say, or anything we left out?
Okay. So I would really encourage people to just go to the Calendly link, book a time that works for you. We'll have a 15-minute conversation. You can ask whatever questions you want and see whether or not there's something that I can do to help you. It's not a sales call. It's basically so we can get to know each other and I can see if there's some way that I can add value to your life. So don't be afraid to book. Just come on over and we can talk, whether it's identity theft or you've got a business, you need to talk about an LLC or any other type of legal issues, then come on and talk. Let's see what we can do.
Oh, that's great, Wendy. So again, reach out to her on that Calendly link /Wendy Byford /Shayna. Book a discovery call with her, see how she can help you. She's a super connector. I love your energy. I know you've connected me with some really great people, and I so appreciate you. So go over to Wendy's Calendly link and book something while there's still a slot. And she's going to tell you how to save tons of money on legal attorneys. And then also, of course, join the Reclaim Your Life live, fun, interactive power hour super workshop from the comfort of your couch. It's absolutely free. Just go to worldwellnessexpert.com /reclaim. And if you want to level up to VIP for replay access and a discovery call and an extra live power hour Q&A session on Zoom, then you can do the VIP upgrade for like $47. So I thank you, Wendy, very, very much for being here and for your time and giving us your words of wisdom. I so appreciate you. I hope the viewers that are watching, please click that button, drop a heart, a comment where you're watching from. If you're over on YouTube, click that subscribe button so you can get notified of new clips. If you're on LinkedIn, follow Wendy Byford, Byford. If you're on LinkedIn and you're on her wall, you can go over to mine, connect with myself as well. Facebook, you guys can reach out to us there. And thank you guys so much for viewing. Like, comment, subscribe, connect.
Thank
All
you, Tina.
right. Thank you.